Hi, fellow apostates. I'm Bridia the Apostate, and today we are going to read some children's anti-climate change propaganda. Last video, I shared with you the first comic in the series, Once Upon a Time, the true story about the miracle molecule carbon dioxide. And today we're going to read comic 2, Simon the Solar-Powered Cat. I got these comic books at a homeschool conference last year at the CO₂ Coalition. They had a booth, and when I approached it, I was a little shocked. I mean, I see a lot of really conservative homeschoolers, they're like very conservative. There's a spectrum, but let's just say there's a lot of super, super far right ones. And so I was still surprised though that this booth existed and that they made these children's books to teach your children how good CO₂ is. So here's the front of the book. Simon the Solar Powered Cat, Comic 2 from the CO₂ Coalition. And I just want to read you the blurb on the back. So it says Simon the Solar Powered Cat continues the exploration of the natural world through the adventures of three young girls who live on a tree farm in Oregon with 4 dogs, 4 goats, and their lonely cat, Simon. This book provides information in a manner that is entertaining and readily accessible to children. There's a quote. It says, Simon the Solar-Powered Cat is a charming story that teaches that the basis for life on Earth is the miracle molecule carbon dioxide. Without it, virtually all life would die. The demonization of carbon dioxide in many of our schools makes the proper teaching of the gas's role in converting solar energy to plant food critically important. This wonderful book allows readers to make the necessary connections to see why all plants and animals are solar powered. That quote is from Dr. Sharon Camp, PhD, Analytical Chemistry, AP Environmental Science teacher, and author of the companion CO₂ Coalition lesson plans. All right, let's see what we're getting into. All right, I'm going to read and you can follow along and we'll stop to comment. This is a story about a lonely cat named Simon. He lives with 3 sisters, Sophia, Ariana, and Elisa, 4 dogs, and 4 goats. You might think that Simon has plenty of playmates, but all are giants compared to him. He would love to find a friend his own size. Oh, cat needs a friend. Okay. So far, so good, normal. The girls do have a chinchilla whose name is Chi-Chi. She is about the size of a squirrel and has a beautiful fur coat that is so soft. She also has whiskers that are constantly fluttering. But Elisa, I can't say her name, so I'm probably pronouncing it wrong every time. But Elisa is worried that Simon might play too roughly with the little rodent. Probably. Probably. And also, chinchillas are just not interested in playing with cats for the most part. So Simon has to live in a world of giants while Chi-Chi lives safely in her cage in their living room. Oh, the dog is licking the cat. I was wondering what that said. I was like, ooh. All right. With only giants for playmates, Simon has to be very fast to stay out of their way. We have cats and dogs, so relatable. He also has to be able to jump over fences to escape. Phew. All right. One day when Simon was visiting, Mr. Gordon asked him if he was getting enough to eat. Hello, Simon. How are you doing? Are the girls providing enough food for you? To his astonishment, Simon replied, That is surprising. Okay. To be quite frank, that's my cat voice, I guess. Professor, the girls have been shorting me on rations because they think that I'm getting fat. Could you help me get more Friskies? Are they allowed to use Friskies in this? How on earth did you learn to talk, Simon? That's a good question. How did the cat learn to talk? Well, Professor, I am a little angel with a fur coat who has been sent to teach these girls to be kind to all animals. Will you help me teach them to provide enough food? Sure, Simon. You go on being a lovable cat, and I will ask the children where they think you get so much energy. Oh boy. It's kind of getting weird just like on this page. Just, I don't know, gives weird vibes. A few days later, when he saw the girls riding their mountain bikes, he asked the oldest, Sophia, about Simon's diet. Where does your cat Simon get all his amazing strength and energy? From his cat food or from the mice he catches in the fields. Wouldn't it also be correct to say that he gets his energy from the sun? I don't know, Mr. Gordon. Why does he look like Santa? Santa is against climate change, I guess. Surely you must be joking. Simon loves the warmth of the sun, but it is still very active after the sun has gone down. Yes, you are absolutely correct, Ariana. Simon is not able to store the sun's energy directly. His food does that for him. Keep an eye on your neighbors talking to your children. Let's look at the ingredients in his food. His dry foods lists cornmeal as the primary ingredient, while his canned food lists chicken. They're giving him dry food with the first ingredient as cornmeal. You could do better. I don't know about that. Maybe I haven't looked at dog foods. Wait, it's a cat. Yeah, the cat's food shouldn't have cornmeal as the primary ingredient. They should look at that. Okay. Well, his canned food lists chicken. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're giving him canned food, so I guess that's better. Since chickens live on a diet of corn, we are back to corn as the major part of Simon's food. Does anyone know how corn stores energy? I do. It has something to do with the carbon dioxide we discussed last time. Very good. Can anyone tell me how the carbon cycle works? Plants use sunlight to produce sugars from atmospheric carbon dioxide and water. They release oxygen back into the air for us to breathe. We learned in school that the process is called photosynthesis. It is the basis of almost all life on Earth. Look how smiley Earth is. So happy. Carbon dioxide makes the world go round. And apparently corn. I wonder if the corn industry has given any money to this organization. And sugars are the solar energy that keeps Simon going. What do we call that energy? Calories. Children, gather around while we discuss calories and your fat cat. Although Simon is a very special cat, his diet of sunlight, atmospheric carbon dioxide, and water is similar to that of all other creatures, even children. That is fine, Professor, but I need some more to eat. So Mr. Gordon asked the girls if they thought Simon was getting enough calories to keep him going. Yes, oh yes, he is getting too many. Look, he is getting fat. Simon was not happy with that answer. He's thinking, I'm not fat. But the girls could not hear him. Can only Mr. Gordon hear him? Maybe Mr. Gordon's crazy. Being very smart, he devised a new plan. He noticed that Mr. Gordon took cat food into his barn every afternoon. Would Mr. Gordon give me some cat food? He followed Mr. Gordon into the barn. Oh, there's like a cat that comes out. Barn cat. Crashes out of anywhere. He's sneaking up on Mr. Gordon. No, wait, it's not barn cat. Hold on, that's Simon dressed up in a costume. Simon's in a costume. And then he goes into the barn and he sees and was surprised to see him feeding a wild female calico cat with white feet by the name of Callie. Maybe he won't be so lonely after all. Can I have some food? Sure, Simon, but you will have to make friends with Callie. She needs her solar energy too. Callie was very happy to meet Simon. although she pushed him out of the way when he tried to eat her food. She's like, meow, because he's sad. And then I guess she shares it and he's so happy. But days later, they were perfect friends with Simon politely waiting for Callie to finish her solar energy and Mr. Gordon providing extra food for the both of them. Okay, so now the neighbor is feeding the cat, their overweight cat. That's helpful. Simon is no longer hungry or lonely, but he is fat. Sunlight powers life using carbon dioxide and water. And then it lists all the scientists who are on their committee, geneticists, chemistry, physicists, biology, meteorology, forest ecology. Some of them are members of the U.S. National Academy of Sciences, so very fancy, very professional. They have their sources, they say. They are legit. And then we have this page. It says, oh, this new cat, Callie, says, hi, I'm one of the stars of the next comet, Magic Mirror, which I do have. Magic Mirror, so we can read that next. Magic Mirror Reflections on Recycling. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn recycling into an anti-climate change piece. And then they have Mr. Fish. Come to the CO₂ Learning Center to see what videos feature me. So I guess we can go to that channel. It might be something to check out. And this is Emmett and Lewis. Learn about their adventures at the CO₂ Learning Center. You can learn more about the CO₂ miracle molecule at CO₂Coalition.org. They're so happy because CO₂ makes the world go round. CO₂ Coalition. You think we can go to that? Hold on. CO₂Coalition.org. Did we get to see this website? Oh, here it is. Oh, they did a good job on their website providing the facts about CO₂ and climate change. Get the facts. I'm most interested in the things they provide to the children. That just creeps me out, I guess. You got their books. Can you read all their books on their website? Let's see. I have this one too, Chloe, the clownfish, sleeps well. You can get the ebook, download the lesson plan. Is there a lesson plan for what we were just reading? Let's see. Yes. And the free PDF is on there. All right, so if you're going to read this as a lesson to your children, carbon cycles through living and non-living things in a process called the carbon cycle. One small part of the carbon cycle is reflected in a food chain. The cycle, however, is much more complicated. An understanding of the full carbon cycle is below. You put the animals in food chain order. That seems normal. Formative and summative questions. How do animals get the energy they need to survive? How do plants get their food and energy? What is a food chain? Give an example of a simple food chain. Explain what photosynthesis is. All life forms on Earth contain carbon. Give a simple example of how carbon in the form of carbon dioxide goes from the air and becomes part of an animal's body. Explain how carbon dioxide goes back into the air from the animal. Simon is described as a solar-powered cat in the title of this book. Why is Simon solar-powered? Explain how sunlight provides the energy that powers life through carbon dioxide and water. Okay. Some of those questions are a little bit leading. I think that it's definitely trying to get, the answer that sun is awesome, carbon cycle, carbon dioxide, like putting all those words into like a very positive format. And while they are positive in many different ways, I think that along with some of these other books, it's just very leading. I also think Mr. Gordon is kind of weird. I just don't think he should be hanging around the children, talking to them about calories and feeding their cat behind his back, especially when he knows that the cat is supposed to be on a special diet. That was interesting to poke around, just kind of get a look at what they are doing, what the plans and intentions are with these people. And They're not the only people trying to persuade our children to believe certain things that aren't really true. So just an interesting look into the far right conservative homeschooling world. If you want to come back and see Magic Mirror Reflections on Recycling, I would love to read that to you as well. We can get a look at what's going on in there. Please follow, like, subscribe. I don't know. I don't have a subscription actually. Not yet. But do all the things and join me here next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.